said it before, and I'll say it again. This is my favorite time of year. Let's go. So it's early February. It's time to get the pruning done. We're gonna do apples and grapes at the minimum and see what else we can get to after we get those done. So starting with the mystery apple tree, what I did last year was cut off a lot more than the kind of accepted rule of right around 15 to 30%, and we did okay. I think we're still going to have fewer apples this year than last year, but I'm okay with that. I'm trying to get this tree into shape and hopefully, get it rock and rolling. Anyway, let's go. Alright, so just like in past years, certain cuts are really easy. When we have crossing branches like this, these are all going inside. We want to chop those off. Simple. You also need to look for these little guys right here. These are your fruiting spurs. So this is what's going to make your fruit next year. So we want to actually avoid cutting those so that, we get food, because that's what this tree is for. At least that's the idea. Right. Fruit, no fruit. Let's leave fruit. There you go. Now we have a fun challenge. We've got these crossing branches right here. This one, we've got plenty of fruit spurs on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this one off. And I think for good measure, we got one right here. I think I'll go ahead and just take that off right there. And we'll just leave that. That'll be fine. So this branch right here cuts off a lot of access underneath the tree. So there's a lot of fruit that's going to happen right in here. So do I want to let this fruit set this year and then cut it off next year, or simply cut it off now? When I think about it, this branch has been getting in my way for a long time, and I don't really think I've realized just how much this is in the way. I think part of this is just being greedy. I want as much apples as possible, but at the same time I want this tree to be as user-friendly as possible. This is not making this tree user-friendly. In fact, it's making it much more difficult to manage. So I think this is going to come off. Let's do it. Well, not as dramatic as last year's adventure, but now I can get back here. All right, so that's our tree. Nothing too drastic other than that one big branch that came out. Kind of wondering if next year I might take out this center branch right there, but we'll see. All right, back to the good old grapevine that we took a rather significant chunk off of last year as well. This year will not be quite as drastic. Again, with grapes, we need to find a nice, healthy branch that we can tie to our trellis and then pretty much cut off the rest. This particular grape, this one is very much unconventional. So I'll have the two branches here, then I'll actually have a couple more up here that are coming from my neighbor's side. And then for good measure, I'll have one coming right up that way behind you. Let's start cutting. So today what we're going to work on is replacing an old branch. So that's this guy right here. This one is kind of old, it's a little stringy. Underneath it though, I have a nice young cane. So I'm going to keep this one. This old one is going to go away. So I've got the old branch cut off right here. I've got the new branch out here, and that is extending quite a ways out. Technically, I should have that cut off probably right about here. So just before the first post there. And then I took another branch out right here, and that one is going to become this guy right here, and that'll go up that piece of trellis there. One thing I want to point out is this here. So you'll see I pruned this with this bud end right here pointing out, and so what that kind of does is that sets up your future branches. So this will hopefully grow that direction, and that can become my new branch that goes up this trellis the following year. So when you're making cuts, be aware of the future, and so you want to be prepared for that. All right, let's finish up with this side of the fence. Alright, so with most of this side done, we've got this branch to take care of. Just need to tie it off somewhere. There we go. And I don't know, probably do a traditional cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nodes, 6, we'll go 7. There we go. We've got our new southerly branch right there. Now we gotta go to the other side. Actually, I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna take care of this stuff right in here. So last year, this was kind of where I had screwed up some of my cuts, and so I used this section to kind of compensate for that. Might as well do it again this year, no big deal. The key here is wading through all of this and figuring out just where is that cane that I need to use, because the one that's there is probably a little too old as well, so it probably just needs to go, and I need to find a replacement for it. Easy. Alright, so that's about all I can do over here. I'm gonna head over to the other side and see how that looks. All right, so here we are on the neighbor's side of the fence, and so I need to get this cleaned up. Yeah. So right here, that's the main branch of the, essentially the neighbor's grape. What I need to find is a branch that I can use back here. This is the big branch that I'm just gonna keep there. So from there, now I need to find a couple more healthy branches to extend over that way into the sunlight. It gets pretty shaded out over here, but there's a lot more sun off in this direction. All right, that's what's left over here. Okay, so got all of the spindly branches off of there and continued that main feeding branch all the way over. They'll have a little bit more sunlight this year because they're farther away from that tree. Oh, what time is it? It's almost lunchtime. All right, well, let's see how we unjumble this mess. So we've got the main vine right here with the older cane, the older branch coming out this way, another older one turning around going that way. We should probably get some fresh, nice new branches. I think I'm going to take it off right here. Alright, so I know you can't see this too well, but right here there's a bud. So since I want to get rid of this branch, but at the same time I want a vine for next year, maybe go up this way, then I'm going to cut that off just above that bud. Okay, and so then in this coming year, that bud should produce another vine that goes off that way. Hopefully. Last year I had this branch right here that kind of curls all the way around. It was kind of jury-rigged that way. Not ideal. Now I've got this branch right here that's nice and healthy and is moving the right direction. So you can see we got branch this way, branch that way, kind of branch that way, and then one that way. So just one way of doing it. Another method would be to not have these two lower branches and then you would actually have two branches going each direction across the top there. Now it's time for that mess. Okay, that's the last grape done. Now on to the Honeycrisp. Alright, same deal as the mystery apple tree, only probably a lot fewer cuts and a lot fewer risks taken. So we'll just get this guy all tidied up for the coming season. Alright, there we go. Nothing too drastic. All you do, you just keep these little guys right there. Keep those on there. And you'll have fruit next year. So I'm about to lose my light. That's about what I can get done this weekend. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you will subscribe to this channel. I hope you'll like this video if you found it helpful. If you have any suggestions or questions, just leave a comment down below. Talk to you later.